Hello, this is Crafting in Quarantine by Atopico, and I am Marianne Verstappen. Welcome back. Hope you survived the heat. So today I am planning on doing some freehand pen and ink doodling or sketching, and I was looking for a fun pattern-based activity for us to do. I love doing this because philosophically, I like the idea of being able to work with your mistakes. And I think as an artist, it's a really, really important skill. So I like to practice it every now and again, and I thought maybe you'd enjoy practicing it too. So I was looking around on the internet for some inspiration, and I found this artist called Andy Gilmore, who makes these really beautiful freehand patterns using sort of a grid form. And so his website is down in the comments section of this video if you want to have a look at it. And I just want to say big thanks to Andy Gilmore for inspiring me to do this activity. And just a couple of tips before we start. One of them is that if you're doing pen drawing and you're sitting for a long time, make sure that you take a moment to stretch and move your wrists around. I get so focused on the drawing, sometimes I forget to breathe, and then I realize, oh my goodness, I've been holding myself stiff all this time. So make sure you take a moment to breathe, stretch out your wrists, do this kind of stuff. And then also take some time to look into the distance and rest your eyes. It's really nice. I love to put on music or something while I'm doing this, and just really helps me get into get focused on what I'm working on. And I think that's everything. So I hope you enjoy the video, and if you have any comments, please write them below. So you're going to need a ruler and then also something to measure accurate right angles with. So I've got a square here, but if you don't have that, then you can use a ruler, and you can use, a piece of cardboard with a strong right angle, or an old piece of mail, or, a kitchen tile, or whatever you've got, as long as it's clean so it won't make your paper dirty. And then you're going to need an eraser and a pencil. Just make sure all your drawing supplies are clean so your paper doesn't get dirty. And then you're going to need I've got some illustration pens here, but you could also use a Sharpie or just any kind of black pen. Also a ballpoint pen is fine as well. Just any kind of pen or pencil is fine. So I'm going to start by using my pencil to draw out a grid, and I'm going to use my square and my ruler. So I'm going to start by measuring, just finding the center of my paper and making sure that the center line is there. And I'm going to do a 4x4 inch grid. You don't have to do that. I'm using quite a large piece of paper. You can do a 2x2 inch grid. It depends on the size of your paper and how many squares you want to do. So my paper is 14 inches wide, so I'm going to start at 7 inches. And I'm sorry that my pencil is so light, it might be a little bit hard to see. I have to keep it light so I can erase it once I've finished the pen drawing. Okay, so now I'm ready to start with my pens, and because I want mine to look a bit like an Andy Gilmore, I'm going to start by giving myself just some structure by doing some diagonal lines. Okay, and now I'm just going to start freehanding some stuff and see what happens. So what I'm going to make sure I do is I'm going to just start by doing lines like this, doing diagonal lines, but what I want to make sure is that when I change squares, that each diagonal line meets up, and that's the key to making whatever happens with this, that's the key to making a beautiful optical illusion. And what I love about this is that it doesn't matter if your lines go wonky or whatever happens. You've just got to make sure that they meet up over here. And the more random it gets, the more beautiful it gets. So don't worry if your lines go crooked, just keep following the path of the one that came before, and it's going to make a beautiful optical illusion. Okay, so here's my finished drawing. Again, big thanks to Andy Gilmore for the inspiration. I loved drawing like this. I never would have thought of this technique. Just one note that I realized that the squares I'd drawn were a bit too big. I know I said earlier in the video that I was going to do them 4 by 4 inches. I ended up doing them 3 by 3 inches, and even then I think I could have gone a bit smaller. So to recap, and I hope you didn't start drawing your grid before you finish the video, maybe I'll leave a note about that as well. That maybe 2 by 2 is the best, especially because I'm using a really big piece of paper. I'm using a 17 by 14 inch piece of paper. So there's more tips, and I hope that you enjoy your week. I hope you try out this activity and you find it as restful and as meditative as I did. As you can see, a lot of things didn't go to plan, and I just really enjoyed figuring out how to make it part of the picture and make it smooth. So I hope that that's your takeaway as well. And as always, have a wonderful week and stay safe. Bye-bye.